Recruiting is the most important piece to a successful dynasty rebuild on College Football 27. Whether it's through high school or through the transfer portal, team building is everything. And today I'm going to give you some little nuggets, some keys to victory that I've found in early testing of playing College Football 27. Hopefully you find this content actionable, entertaining, engaging, all the good things, all the good vibes, so that it leads you to liking the content, commenting on the video, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and hitting that bell notification. And also that one extra step, share it with a friend that's also a big time college football gamer and Madden, because I will have some Madden content this fall as well. All right. So trust me, I'm already working on my content schedule between NFL draft, scouting for Bleacher Report, and hosting the Locked On NFL Draft podcast, and still bringing content to you guys, because this community that's been building here the last 2 weeks, I appreciate every one of y'all. So let's get into this video. And the first thing of what I noticed with the rebuild, I took Memphis. I did like 3 of them, right? And just different varies of smaller school. Because as you know, next week I'll be dropping my first episode, which I put the poll out in the community chat. Guys, if you're not checking out the community part, definitely stay tapped into that. I always try to update you guys when I'm going to drop content, what's going on, just so that you know, hey, I haven't fallen off the face of the earth or anything like that. So I put in a poll there a couple days ago, early this week, and got some votes. I was like, hey, you want the first rebuild, or the episodes to be 30 to 45 minutes or an hour? And there were more votes, looks like, for an hour. So first episode of my CCU rebuild will happen next week. So stay tuned for that. But on this one, I ended up doing like Memphis. I created my own coach, all that stuff. Here's the thing. Starting off, recruiter. Recruiter is the coach build that I'm going to lean on when I'm using small schools. Now, if I'm using a kind of like, if I wanted to use Virginia Tech, right? And somebody be like, oh, that's not a small school. No, but it's not a school that's been very successful, right? Or like I talked about Kentucky or something like that. Cool. I will take a tactician or a motivator, because I don't like, I'll have more recruiting hours, things of that nature. But when you're starting with small schools, right? I did Memphis and everything. Memphis coach, I just used their head coach at the time, and everything. But even then, only 385 recruiting hours in the regular season. Like, that's crazy. That's a small amount of hours compared to a Georgia, Bama, USC, Texas, so forth and so on. So what I say is the recruiter build is the most important to me. I maxed that out, because by maxing that out, I know that I'm going to get all of these perks. And you're talking about being able to, like, 4 quarterbacks, take less time to fully scout. If you max this out, I believe it is 2 clicks, like 20 recruiting hours, rather than having to use the full like 50, and also like 2 clicks, boom, boom, and I'm fully scouted that quarterback, right? But I try to do it for all. I own whatever the positions that you care about most in terms of being able to max out, get all the way down to the portal king and everything. If you have there's a 150 coach points with the early buy and everything like that, before July 1st package and whatnot, the bundle or the MVP membership, like, you get that 150. 100% max out whichever positions you need, so it makes it easier to recruit those positions. Because again, 385 hours is absolutely diabolical. It's diabolical. But hear me out. Like I said, max it out. But if you listen to Coach Dame, I tell you, recruit in batches, right? I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Recruiting in batches is paramount. So here, again, as you see right at the top, right? Now, this is the actual scouting stage. So I have 450 recruiting hours. But once you flip to the regular season, it's going to drop to 385. So I went ahead, put some offensive linemen, because another part of my process in terms of recruiting and team building, it's massive. It's important. The trenches. I want to build an offensive line that's going to be able to run block and pass protect and keep me upright and create running lanes for my running backs, right? Not just for when I'm playing, but you have to think as well. If you don't play every single game, right? You're not sitting there for hours playing every single game. Guess what? You need an offensive line that can help your team in sim. And then we see Trevor Alexander, that was a raw strength center. He was a 3-star gem, right? I went after a defensive tackle. I went after positions that aren't always so rich in terms of the transfer portal, and I added those guys to my board, right? And as you see here, it's like it says 7 out of 35. Okay, so that's a big thing. But as you know, as well, you have here. So we have Trevor Alexander, and you see right when we got to the first week, what do we have? 385 recruiting hours, right? Now NIL, like I didn't have to burn through that. I really didn't, to be honest with you. You want to know why? Because I recruited primarily 3-stars. I went to the prospect list, I hit right trigger, went to 3-star, went from recommended, went down to 3-star, scrolled over to NIL, I pressed square to sort from least to most, and you see the recruits. You see those guys, as you see here for Trevor Alexander, even though he's a 3-star gem, his expected NIL is 0. I offered him a scholarship, and I gave him 5 off the rip. I gave him the 5. No, I gave him 10. Sorry, I gave him 10 off the rip. Same thing with the center ahead of him, right? And he's better than that center, to be honest with you, because of the fact that he's the gym. So I know his I believe Trevor at the end of like when I got to the end of it, I believe he had either elite dev or star dev. Either way, like he had a high developmental trait, right? But that's the key, right? That's the key there. So then you look at it's like Jalen Robe and things like that. And you see here, I have a board of 11 out of 35, 90 recruiting hours available. Because again, what I wanted to do, I told you guys this was something that was important to me, is I wanted to try and max out in terms of attacking these recruits with 50 hours. I want to send the house off the gate, out the gate, off the rip, send the house. I want to maximize this scouting process and this recruiting process because I'm trying to close out my first 10, 8 to 10 recruits in about 5 to 6 weeks. That's what I'm trying to do, is close them out in the first 5 to 6 weeks. And here's what I found out. I told you guys on the videos leading up to the game dropping, pipelines were critical. Yes, I closed out on those guys that I did not have a pipeline for, right? But here's the key to this. I didn't have a pipeline for them. They drug it out to about week 8 or 9. Did not like that. I did not like that because my goal is to have at least, if I could have at most 10, at least 8 guys closed out and they're fully committed. They're hard committed, not the verbal commit. Remember, that verbal commitment catch you up. It'll trip you up. If you do not, for those who don't have access to the game yet, or whatever, you won't get it until next week. Fine, it's cool. Coach Dane got you. So what you need to do is make sure, again, you do not take your hours just because you see that commitment graphic pop up. It may pop up, but read what it said. Verbal, soft commit. Guys flip all the time, guys. In real life, they flip all the time. Now, what I haven't seen yet, I haven't flipped a recruit, and I haven't had a recruit flipped on me. Because typically, by the time we get to that recruit, once they verbally commit, you're going to see it's going to pop up in the corner 1.2, 1.3x multiplier. That helps boost because you already have a lead, right? I haven't been in a battle where where the player soft commits to another school or verbal commits to another school, but we're like there. Like it's like the race is very minimal. Like they got one step on us, right? And we were able to flip him. No, typically you get to that verbal commit and you get to that hard commit stage. Yeah, they get that recruit already has you or whoever that team is halfway. The bar is halfway full, or maybe it might be 25% full, whatever. And that multiplier usually within the week. Matter of fact, there was a player that I was going after. Oregon had tier 5 pipeline on it, but they didn't offer him yet. This was in the transfer portal. He was like 4-star safety and really good. When I scouted him, really good stuff, really good tools and stats. Well, I saw the opportunity. It was like week 3 of transfer portal. I saw the opportunity. I said, man, Oregon's not going for it. I'm going for it. So I had the NIL, all that stuff like that. I finished up with a board of 28 because I missed on some guys that I forgot to change our recruiting hours on, and the CPU took they did not waste time. Once if you are lollygagging and or not paying attention, and you don't change from sending the house or talking to friends and family to like the hard sell or the sway. What I was doing that was successful, I swayed. You know what I mean? The sell, our sell package to the player. I swayed it. Then once I saw the influence, I went and hard sold it, and I saw a really good benefit. I saw a jump in the influence and everything, right? But if you're not changing from sway to hard sell, or from, the normal recruiting part to actually selling your program to the player, the CPU is going to jump in, offer him, and then they're going to go full force. They're going to jump you, and you're not going to be able to make up ground, right? Unless maybe if you have the tier 5 pipeline, but still, it's difficult. With this situation with Oregon, as I was talking about, that safety had me at number 1, right? Going into week 4, I had him on a visit or whatever, and I know it was week 2. It was week 2 to week 3. So week 3 he moved me up to number 1 over Oregon because they didn't offer him. Then I scheduled the guy. I was like, oh, bet. I'm about to get this 4-star recruit, baby. Let's go. Week 4, Oregon jumps me, and he hard commits. No soft commit stage whatsoever. No verbal commit. He hard committed immediately. So that was the first time I saw it happen, guys. That he did not even go through the full process. Oh, his hometown team said, "Hey, we want you here." He said, "All right, sorry, Memphis. I'm not coming across the country. I'm staying home with my mom and pop and grandpop and grandma, and everybody else can see me ball here at Oregon in those fly Oregon unis." I said, "You know what, brother? Touche. I got to tip my cap to you. I can't be mad at you one bit, brother. I would have done the same thing." But the point is, that again, that was rare. That was a one-time thing, right? It was a one-time thing, but you got to make sure that you are maximizing your opportunities with these recruits. You have to make sure that you're maximizing your opportunities. Because again, with those 3 stars, guys, I went through those 3 stars, 0 NIL. I offered them, kept a lot of my NIL. Then I went after some bigger prospects and recruits, and it worked. I was able to land them. Now, did I have to pay out the wazoo? Now, this was a test. Yes, there was a defensive end, high school recruit, 4-star, right? Came in with star development. I had to pay him like 256, but I had like 1,100 available because all of my 3 stars had 0 NIL expected. So it was what it was. So make sure you fill your board with 3-star recruits that have 0 NIL expectation, because if you can land those guys, and a number of those guys, 10, 15, 18 of those guys, that's going to help you out. I think we came in with a top 40, or top 30 recruiting class because of those 2 4-stars I was able to secure late, right? Because what I was doing too is, once we get to the end of the regular season or whatever, I added more guys. So by the end of the regular season, I think I had like 18 3-stars already committed, like 18 of them. So I said, okay, I found a 4-star, that defensive end. I went after him, and there was another player. I didn't end up getting him, but I went and I had the recruiting hours, and I had the NIL. I did it, right? Then after the season, peep game. Like, for those who haven't played it yet, and really or you played the trial with, I think, PlayStation Plus or whatever it is, but you weren't able to fully lock in for those, to see everything. Once you get to the end of the season, you get the end of the season recap. Then you go into recruiting, right? You go into or transfer portal. You go into transfer portal, and what you're going to get out of the transfer portal is a situation where your NIL, everything resets. So that's major. But one thing I also really liked, and I caught on to, guys, when you're in recruiting in the transfer portal, peep this, right? As you see that I did this was I started one with Coastal. I just wanted to see how it would work or whatever, right? So right here, RJ Mosley, transfer wide receiver, 3-star freshman. NIL, he only expected 5. I ended up giving him the 5, right? But you know what I didn't have to do? On 26, where the finding the hard sell and everything else, I didn't have to do that. Guys, I did not have to do that whatsoever, because it already comes in baked in. Shout out to EA, man. That made life so much easier, that I don't have to wait 2 or 3 weeks and do all this jumping through hoops to figure out what's your hard sell. No, it already comes, the recruits. They already have it. They already have it, and I'm like, man, that is clutch all the way. That is absolutely clutch. So I love that fact as well. So again, this is a very important piece to the puzzle, in my honest opinion, when it comes down to the transfer portal, that I absolutely love. Again, EA really got in their bag. I'm having so much fun with this game, and I'm still learning it and trying to master different things so I can bring that information to you guys, as well as the rebuilds, the road to glory, and all of that. But another thing that I don't know, and I think I mentioned this to you guys before, But another thing that was really, really important in the so the players leaving screen, right? And I want to say this too. I had some players that wanted to leave, and so it lets you like set the next year's roster NIL. And I picked and choose who I wanted to pay and who I didn't. Well, there was a player that I absolutely offered quite a bit. He still left. He still wanted to leave. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I offered you a bag and you say you leaving. All right, get out then. Go. No, don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you, brother. I offered you money. I offered you a bag, and you still said no. Fine. It's fine. I was disrespected. I was disrespected. But nonetheless, in that screen of like when you're looking at players from your own team, I think I told you guys this before. Make sure that you look at the situation of like clicking over the other team. So you see here, I'm going through Michigan State. You can see the players. You can see the players that they have that are transferring, not just the guys who are going to the draft. Look here, Drake Lindsey, quarterback from Minnesota. He's entering the portal. You can see the guys who are going into the portal, so you know kind of, hey, you can make a list of guys. This, like these are some guys going to the NFL. But then Kamario Taylor, who I talked about in my last video, from Mississippi State, sophomore quarterback, he's entering the portal, right? Look at Ahmad Hardy and those guys. They're leaving for the NFL. Then his backup, Jamal Roberts, he's entering the portal, right? Now, and it shows you why as well, which I love. It shows you, hey, championship contender, playing style, playing time, right? Running back, Ramon Green. That's why I said you don't have to pay the running backs. You don't have to pay the running backs on here. There are too many running backs that's going to hit there, are going to hit the portal in the exact, they're going to hit the portal, and the playing style that you like, those archetypes are going to be there. I talked about C.J. Bailey, NC State. He left, right? His wide receiver, Keenan Jackson, he's leaving. The right guard also leaving through they have multiple guys leaving through the transfer portal. So when you talk about it now, I want to take it a step further. What else can you get from this? You can click on, so Isaiah West was a running back from Ohio State that entered the portal. You can click on their player card and it will show you their skills, what's capped and what's not. So you already know. Again, take out a piece of paper and pen or put it in your phone, whatever. Stop, before you exit off of that player's leaving screen, make sure that you are maximizing this and that you're tapping in to see, hey, this is what it looks like. So you see the guys going to the draft, Isaiah West right there, the first guy leaving, the highest graded guy off also with St. Clair, the quarterback, that's hitting the portal, right? But again, you need to know what you're getting into. And this will help you from a scouting standpoint. You don't need to use recruiting hours. You don't need to use scouting hours for Isaiah West. You already know what he is and what he brings to the table. You may not know because on 26 they showed the dev trait. They didn't show that here, which I was pissed about. I was like, dang it, they figured it out. So they don't show the dev trait, but at the same time, you do see the player's skill sets and everything else by going to it. And that's a massive and major upgrade to where, okay, I know how fast he is. I know, hey, from a wide receiver standpoint, you see that wide receiver, right? Because I was looking at a quarterback, I think it was, and he was leaving Clemson, leaving Clemson. And I was like, okay, he's got like a low 70s overall, right? He's a dual threat, but his stats, his skills are good. Go find him in the portal. Brother wanted from Memphis, from me. He wanted 265 NIL points. And I was like, no. He wanted playing time. I could offer you that, right? I could offer you that. Maybe. I think Memphis has Aaron Nolan. I'll say this. Memphis is another team that's a sleeper team to rebuild. For those of you who don't have a team to rebuild yet, Memphis will be fun. Aaron Nolan and that veer and shoot that they run through sim, they were cooking. He was cooking. I mean, yeah, he got a tight end involved. I have four pass catchers over 900 yards. He threw for over 4,200 yards and everything. So I'm just saying, tight end won the John Mackey Award with 12 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Yeah, that offense was cooking. You know what I mean? It was cooking for sure. But again, just from a standpoint of you get to save recruiting hours. If you make notes of what Isaiah West, 82 overall, skill cat, you could look to say, hey, can improve speed, quickness, whatever. IQ, whatever you can improve, right? That you can continue to develop, develop, and then put those things in the things that are capped, that you have to wait for the skill cap to be able to improve it or whatever. The things that are capped that you can't just improve right off the gate or develop right off the gate cannot improve now, or what cannot improve, and put those things so you know what you're getting into. Either way, it just makes the entire process that much easier, that much more free flowing and stress free. Because going through that player's leaving screen, say you know for a fact, man, we need a quarterback, bro. Go and you can look through every single school. Go to the quarterback position, right trigger on PS5, right trigger, go to quarterback, and go through every school and see who is leaving. But also self awareness. Find guys that you know you're going to be able to land. If they're great as championship contender and yours is a D, don't waste your time. All right? Don't waste your time. Find those players that are realistic options for you, that also fit what you want to do at quarterback or whatever position, and attack them. Guys, I'm telling you, yeah, I wanted to bring this video. It's about 4 minutes long or whatever, man. But I talked through everything. I had some notes, but then things popped up as I remembered. Memories popped up from actually going through the process and everything else like that, man. But again, guys, as always, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for all the support and love on this channel. All the new subs, all the subs who are just starting to roll in. Hey, man, check out some of the older content coming in, but also stay tuned for the new content now that we're here. College Football 27 is here. There's somebody was it my guy VZ? VZ said it's like Christmas. Cuz. Yeah, it's like Christmas, cuz. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's from Cali. He might be from Cali, so I feel you, cuz. I feel you. So at the end of the day, man, like we having a blast with this. I'm learning more and more of just what's changed, what hasn't. And I have another video, like I'm gonna do a video on like the sliders. I'm figuring out the sliders that I want, because yeah. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that, guys. I might drop that on Monday. What I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna drop the sliders on Monday. I'm gonna drop my first episode of the CCU rebuild on Tuesday. So stay tuned for all of that. My schedule has just opened up. I just finished that project over at BR. So yeah, July is about to be lit. It's about to be litty. All right, we're about to be litty in the city, baby. But as always, thank you so much for tapping in, man. Go subscribe. Hopefully, as I always tell you, hopefully you found this content entertaining, engaging, actionable, knowledgeable, all the good things, all the good vibes, that you will now like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and then send this video, this YouTube channel, share it with a friend so that they can enjoy this content as well. And as always, guys, I'm Coach Dame, and I'll see you around the way.